Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me today and happy Christmas. For those of you that are celebrating Christmas, happy Christmas. And if you are not celebrating Christmas, it's still okay. Please celebrate with those that are celebrating. All right. I want to answer a question that one of my students I want to answer a question that one of my students answer in our Revit tutorial masterclass platform. And let me show you the question. Let me show you the question. I'll open, I will soon share my screen, but now let me open that thing. He asked about how to create coping. Okay, I will soon share my screen. I will share my screen. In case you are hearing me, please indicate in the comment section that you are hearing me. If you are hearing me and you can see me, please let me know in the comment section so that I will know that I am not speaking to myself alone. Please kindly indicate in the comment section that you are hearing me. Dauda Sahid, good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, I will share my screen now so that you will see my screen. I believe you can see my Revit screen and you can hear me. Please indicate in the comment section so that I will know that you are seeing my screen and that I want to see your comment. If you can hear me and you can see me, you can see my screen, please indicate in the comment section. I want everybody to get it. I don't want anybody to miss out. Okay, hearing rather. I'm eating. The other say, okay, I can see you. That is, I can see you and I hear you. Very good. So since you can see me and you can hear me, I don't want to waste time further. I don't want to waste time again. So we'll proceed. So I want to show you guys how to create this. You see this coping. Look at this coping on this veranda. You see that it is going like this and going down and going like that. It's like L-shaped coping on a veranda like this. And the guy also asked about this one. This one is very simple. This one on this window is very simple. But this one on this balcony might be difficult for some people. Okay, so let me show you how to create that kind of coping in Revit. Now you see this balcony. This balcony is similar to, so if you want to create this kind of coping, what you can use extrusion to create this. You can also use sweep to create it. Okay, let's use extrusion to create this type. I will show you how to use extrusion to create it. The balcony is on the first floor. So I'm going to go to my first floor, and this is what balcony is. So what I'll do is I will go to architecture tab, click on components, click on model in place, click on casework, click OK. Name you give it doesn't matter. And now we are in editing mode. Click extrusion, then click rectangle on the ribbon, and you simply sketch. I can set the offset to be something like, let the offset be something like 100, or you can also use 75. You can use 75, you can use 100, you can use 50. And you are going to make sure that since from here to here is 100, it means from this window to here should be 100 as well. Then select this, make sure this is 100 too, press enter, and this one will also be 100. And select this line, type 100, press enter. Now we are going to create the second line. You see is following our balcony. Our balcony is, the opening of our balcony is L shape. Okay, then I pick line, I pick the internal wall. I'm going to use trim to corner to clean it up. Now you have L shape now. The coping is L shape, but it doesn't end there. So we'll finish it. I will make sure that the material is coping. Let's select a material. Let the material be coping. Sorry, my system is a bit slow. It's running two things. It's running Revit, it's running live stream. So there are so many things going on this system right away. So I have changed the material. Then I'm going to, I can go to the view. Let's say I go to approach view and see what we have done. So I drag it up to make sure it is exactly on that balcony. Now you see this is where our beam stop. This is where our beam stops. So I want it to be 100 mm away, both up and down. So in that case, I can use reference plane to guide me. I can use reference plane to guide me. So I simply create a reference plane there. Why is my reference plane not showing? Let me see if I have hidden reference plane before. My reference plane is not showing. Probably I've hidden it. I don't know. Okay, let me try and create it again. Or I go away from editing mode and try to create a reference plane again. whether it will show this time around. It's still not showing. Could it be that I've hidden it? What's happening? Okay, this hide. Let me hide this. Okay, it's still not showing. I'll find a way to go around it. So since reference plane is not showing, let me use line. Let me use detail line. Okay, detail line will show. Then I have detail line on both up and down. Just be creative about it. Anyhow you can achieve it, it's fine. Like I always tell my students, if you know how to use Revit tools and you are creative, you can achieve a lot of things. So I will move this line up. I'll move it up by 100. Let me move it up by 100 so that I make sure that the thickness of the copying is 100 all round. Okay, so I move it up by 100 and press enter. Then the one lower, I move it down by 100 and press enter on my keyboard. Now it's a question of selecting this model now and drag it on top of this line. So we are now sure that it's 100 mm thick. Okay, that is it. Now if you look at it in 3D now, you see that it has just blocked our balcony. No worry, we are creating something. All right, so I am going to go to my floor plan. I will select it, edit, and while in editing mode, make sure you are in editing mode. Go to that floor plan, like first floor, and now you are going to select create. Make sure you are in editing mode though. If you are not in editing mode and you do what I want to do now, you will get a different result. Okay, so now that I'm in the editing mode, I go to void on extrusion, click on void, click on this drop down, void extrusion. This one now want to open that place. So I select rectangle and just create a rectangle, create another one, and simply clean this place up. The void will be the same shape as our model, and delete this inner one. Delete this inner one. Then you can move it closer, but let it not be exactly on the line. Just close to it, but not exactly on it. Okay, then the one that will be exactly on it will be the one here. Then this one will also be exactly on it. Then I am going to finish it. I have finished that void. Let me go to 3D. You see that it has opened it, but then the opening is more than what we want. So I'm going to select that void and drag the upper one down, then also drag the lower one somewhere here. Then I am going to click on cut geometry, so that it will cut this particular geometry. So I'm going to go to approach view and drag it exactly, select this one, select this void, then drag it exactly on this line. Then the lower one, drag it exactly on the wall below and finish it. You finish it now, you look at it in 3D, you will see that that coping has been created and it's L shape. Can you see that? Okay. So if you want to create something like this one doesn't have one side. So you don't have any on this side. All you need to do is to, if you don't have anyone, let's say on this side, what you will do is simply select the void. While in editing mode, click to be in editing mode, then select the void and drag it out. You see that it will cut that area. That is, if you don't have anyone on this side, like our case study, so you drag it out and it has cut this area open. But I'm going to undo that one, undo this, because we have it here. So let me finish it. That is how you can create L-shape copying in Revit architecture. And I use that same method to create this design you are seeing. I use the same method to create this design. Now let's do the second one. The second one, that one is flat. So that one is very, very simple. It's very, very simple. Let me get two windows that are close. Okay, these two windows are close to each other. I go to left elevation, or I go to floor plan, because that left is not showing very well. Let me use this section. I can create a section. This is my left, so I create a section here. Since my elevation is not showing me well, so I go to this section. Now you see these windows. I want to create something around it. So this one is very, very simple. All I need to do is to go to architecture, then select model in place, select casework, click OK. You give it doesn't matter. Then select extrusion and pick face. If you are not able to select the face, make sure this select element by face is selected, is on. Okay, if it is on, you will be able to pick face now. Okay, so I can pick face now. Now I select rectangle. Then it's a question of just picking from this edge to this edge. Then you offset this one by the thickness of your coping. Let's say I can have 120 or 140, depends on what you want to create. And select the material. Before you finish it, make sure you select the material. Pick the exact material you want to use. Let's say I want to use coping as our material. Sometimes you can use window hood. The name you give it depends on you. It doesn't affect the setting of your material. So you give it the name you want to remember, okay? And you can finish now. The coping is not, is going beyond what I want. Okay, the thickness is fine, but these ones that are showing is not a problem. It's a question of selecting this window and remove the window hood. You just edit the window family and remove the window hood, and you are good to go. Okay, so if I select this particular window now, I click edit family, I can remove the window hood if I don't. But let me show you. So it's a question of selecting this window and delete the window hood, delete all these antique features that are on this window, and load it into your project. Overwrite existing version, or you can save it as a different name so that you can save it as a different name. Let's look at it in 3D now. Oh, it's too thick. So edit this, then make the extrusion end to be something like 75 and click apply, and that is it. You have it. So that is how, let's finish it. That is how you can create your coping in Revit. Now there is another version I want to show you, especially this one. There is another approach to it. If you want to create this type, there's another approach. You can also use sweep. Okay, let's delete this one. Let's use sweep now. If I want to use sweep, make sure you have opened this place with precision. Open it very well. Don't make mistake when you are opening it. Make sure you follow the dimension carefully so that the 3D will be on the same line. In other words, this wall and this wall are on the same height. If you have any difference, it will not work. This method will not work. If you open it anyhow, if this height and this height are not the same, it won't work. Okay, so we are going to use we'll use sweep in this case. So I will go to architecture, select component model in place, then select casework, and give it whatever name you want to give it. This time around, we will select sweep and we will use pick part instead of sketch parts. We will pick parts, and you know that we are in 3D. I am not on floor plan, I am on 3D. So I will pick from this angle first, or I can pick from this view. It depends on what you choose. The one that will give us our profile very well. I think this vertical one will give us our profile very well. So pick that one first because it is the one that determines your profile. Oh, okay. I'm going to delete this one because it might give us error. So I will select make sure you select the edges, the 3D edges. Select it carefully. Okay, so I click the arrow. I promised that I was going to delete this one. Let me delete that one so that it doesn't give us error. Now I can use trim to join this together. Will it work? Let's see whether trim will work. Trim doesn't work here. It means I didn't cut them very well. It means the height of the wall are not the same. That is the problem I was talking about that time. The height of the wall are not the same. So since the height of the wall are not the same, it is not going to work. Let me exit. Let me exit and make sure I tackle that wall very first. Let me exit. So exit, close it. So I go to approach first. I go to right side. I go to right side first and take note of, select this wall, edit, and measure this height. If to say we open it very well, we wouldn't have wasted this time. Okay, it's because we didn't open it well. Maybe when you see this difference, that was what caused that error. Okay, so the height is 914. Take note of the height. Now let's close it. Yes. Then let's go to approach view now. At this point, select this wall, edit profile, and measure the height. You see, this one is 919 instead of 914. So let's make this one to be exactly 914 and finish it. Then let's look at it in 3D now. Let's look at it closely to make sure they are on the same horizontal alignment. This method is not supposed to waste time. It's just because probably when I was opening this balcony, I didn't measure it. I was in a hurry. I didn't measure it to make sure they are the same. Even this upper part, I'm not sure they are the same. Let's check it again. Let's check the upper part to make sure they are the same height. Let's select this one again. Select dimension, measure it. We have 2537. 2537. Then I close that. Yes. Then I go to approach view, select that wall, edit profile, add dimension to it, measure it. 25. The first one was 2537 and this one is 2538. So they are not the same. Make this one 2537 so that they are exactly the same. Okay, so now I can try my extrusion now, since I see that they are the same now. So I simply go to architecture, select component, model in place, casework, click OK, then click OK again. Now select sweep, pick path, pick 3D edges, pick this edge first that will give us our profile, and you can pick all the edges, that are relevant to your copying. Now let's finish it. Let's see. Oh, there's still a problem. The edges are not together. Click continue. Let's delete the internal. Oh, something is picking. Let me delete this. Let me see if I can join the two of them together. It's not supposed to take time if I cut it very well. Okay, let's finish it and see. I believe it worked this time around. It still didn't work. Where is the error from? Okay, if it is now going to work, there's a way we work around it. Let's just close it. Let's close that. Close it. So the way we work around it is very simple. So we can go to that same first floor and select model in place, extrusion, select casework, and the name doesn't matter. Let's select extrusion now. Pick rectangle, pick from this edge, and just draw a rectangle and make sure it is exactly on this line, and this one is also exactly on this line. Okay, make sure it's exactly on this line, and this line. Then finish it. Go to approach view, any view that you can see that model, and drag it to the upper level. Drag it to the upper level. Make sure it's exactly on the beam. Part should also be exactly on the wall. Let it be exactly on the wall like that. No, it's not exactly on the wall. Okay, now it's exactly on the wall now. So at this point, you can finish it. Let's look at it in 3D and see what we have. Now we have a box, we have a cuboid that is going like this and like this. Okay, so what I can do now is I want my copying to go like this, and like this. So I can select this particular box I created now. I can select it, then go to this eyeglass icon that says temporary hide slash isolate. So I select that this particular tool. Then what I'll do is isolate element. Now it is only this box I'm seeing now. Okay, so I hide other things to make me work on it properly. And now take note, I am not in editing mode now. Right now I am not in editing mode. If you are in editing mode, you are going to have error. Okay, so I click architecture, model in place, select model in place, and select casework. Click OK. The name doesn't matter. Then select sweep. Then pick path, not sketch path, pick path. Pick 3D edges. Then you are going to pick the vertical part. Any part that can give you your profile, that is the one you pick first. And you pick the 3D edges. Okay, so you also pick this edge. Since this is a box now, this one will not give us that error that those walls were giving us. Okay, so I have picked the relevant edges. I can finish it now. I've finished the picking of the edges. Then I click edit profile, go to the top, drag it like this, then go to the top, click the top here, and here this is where you are going to sketch the profile of your coping. So I simply select like this. I can measure this. This will be 100. Press enter. Then this one, from that line, I can add dimension to it. From that line will be 100. Press enter. Then from this line to this line will be 225. Let this be 225. Select this one. Make this to be 225. You know, that is our wall. That one should be exactly on the wall. We don't need it to project inside. Then at this point, I can remove the dimension now. Then let's finish it and see. Let's finish the profile, finish it. Now the material is still copying, very good. Then let's finish it now. And let's look at it in 3D. It's still we are still in 3D. We are still in 3D. So it's a question of dragging it like this. Now you see the copying. We have successfully created the copying. So you will see that this copying is different from this. If you were in editing mode, this copying and this box will be the same family. But because the time you created this one and the time you created this one were different, now they are separate family. They are not the same family. Now I can delete this box now, and it will remain only the copying. But if they were to be in the same, you were in editing mode when you created the two of them will be blocked together. You won't be able to delete one and it will remain one. Okay, so now we have our copying. I can bring back every other thing I've hidden for. I go to this icon, then click on reset, temporarily hide or isolate, and every other thing will come back. Now you have your copying there. So That is how you can use Swift to create kind of coping. I hope you benefit a lot from the training today. I hope you benefit a training. Let's see. Let's see. So I will stop sharing my screen now so that I can see if there are questions. Please. So many comments here. So many comments. Amejuma Iwere say, I can see and hear you. Hassan say, good evening, sir. Thank you so much. Sikiru said, we can hear you. Jonathan, yes, I can hear you. Jonathan again. Another Jonathan say, good evening, architect. Yes, I am with you, sir. Okay, good evening, Maina Terfa. All right. Who else have question? If you have question, please, you can drop it in the comment section. If you have, we are done with creating our copying. If you have further question, please drop it in the comment section. If it's something we can tackle now, if we cannot tackle it now, then we tackle it later. Okay. Does anybody have further question? Oh, Ransom. Good evening. How are you doing today? Happy Christmas. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. It's nice having you in our midst today. Do we have further question? I believe you clearly understood what I just did now. If there is no further question, then we may wrap up the meeting today so that some people can continue with their jolly. Some people can continue with their merriments. Okay, so I will end the meeting today at this point. Thank you for joining me. See you in the next video. Bye.